Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We have a series of announcements that I'll be making this morning. First, let me recognize our Chief of Staff and Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, Everett Gillison. I thank him for being here and for much of the work that he has done, of course, with my office and throughout the administration. Over on the side is Deputy Mayor for Transportation and Utilities, Rhonda Cutler, Deputy Mayor for Administration and Coordination, Rich Negrin, City Representative Desiree Peterkin-Bell, and Rob DeBoe, our Finance Director. There are probably a bunch of other folks running around, but I don't necessarily know where they are. Thank you all again for coming. As I mentioned, quite a few announcements to make, so I will just move forward. Throughout my time as mayor and as a member of City Council, I've been incredibly blessed to work with some of the most thoughtful, hardworking, innovative, diligent, and dedicated individuals that I've ever met. These great public servants share certainly my very deep love for our great city and my vision for its future. It's that shared love of Philadelphia and the belief that Philadelphia can be a better city, a safer city, a cleaner city, a healthier city, smarter, and moving forward. And that certainly are the guiding principles for all of these individuals and their work. But as the Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, the only thing that is constant is change. Today we're saying thank you to three great public servants and welcoming three like-minded individuals into our family of public service. And so it is with great pride, deep sadness, and tremendous confidence that I make the following announcements. These folks are truly like family, and you'll soon understand why. For more than 6 years of excellent service as Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity, Dr. Donald Schwarz will be leaving our administration. He will be joining the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the nation's largest philanthropic organization dedicated to health, as the team director for the Demand Portfolio. His last day in city service will be on July 15th. I know for a fact that the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation will benefit greatly from Don's years of leadership, experience, and his insight as a researcher. Replacing Dr. Schwarz as Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity is Susan Kresge, a 39-year veteran of city government work. And replacing Dr. Schwarz as the Health Commissioner is Dr. James Bueller, Drexel University School of Public Health professor in the Department of Health Management and Policy. We'll hear from all of them in a moment, but first, let me take a few moments of personal privilege to talk a little bit about the great job that Don has done. In his role as Deputy Mayor, Don oversees the Department of Human Services, Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services, and the Office of Supportive Housing. Dr. Schwarz's accomplishments as Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity are numerous, but I'll tell you a few. A more than 50% increase in permanent housing for homeless individuals and families, a 24% reduction in the rate of dependent children removed from their homes, a decrease in the number of dependent children placed out of state by 75%. Access to the behavioral health system has increased significantly, and a substantial increase in the number of individuals with serious mental illness who have moved into independent, community-based living. Don Schwarz's accomplishments as Health Commissioner are equally impressive. He implemented a very successful smoking cessation and anti-obesity programs, which have resulted in the following: 5% reduction in the city's childhood obesity rate, more than virtually any other major city in America. The first decline in the city's adult obesity rate in more than a decade, and a 15% decrease in the adult smoking rate. He launched a condom promotion campaign in response to rising rates of adolescent sexually transmitted diseases. And since 2011, gonorrhea infection rates for youth have decreased by 33%. He instituted electronic health records at all 8 federally qualified health centers, shifted the focus of the city's food safety inspection program to a risk-based model, and also made the food safety inspection program more efficient and effective for new businesses in our city. He played a key role in developing a public-private partnership to build a new $42 million health center with a recreation facility and library in South Philadelphia. Declines in the rates of HIV in our city. Philadelphia has reached its lowest rates of infant mortality under Dr. Schwartz's leadership. And Philadelphia has one of the highest childhood immunization rates of America's largest cities. I've told the story on a number of occasions. A few of you may have heard it. But 7 years ago, when I met him, I did not know him, I had never heard of him. Apparently, I was one of the only people in Philadelphia who had never heard of Don Schwarz. And in the transition, after the general election, and I knew that I needed a health commissioner, every report came back, said that there is a really great person out there. He's absolutely perfect for this job. There's only one problem. He'll never take this job. Given his work at CHOP, the level of respect and renown that he has across the country and around the world, there's no way in the world that this guy is going to leave that job to come into city government. We met on a Sunday afternoon. We talked for 2 hours. And at the end of that conversation, he said yes. The city is a better place. And our children are safer. Because of Don Schwarz. So one of the best doctors, as determined by his peers, but we already knew that, Dr. Don Schwarz.
So, excuse me for a minute. All right. I'm going to divide my comments between Deputy Mayor and Health Commissioner, and I'm going to be quicker than the Mayor. The first thing I'm going to say is Don Schwarz didn't do any of that. Many of the people sitting here, and many, many people who aren't sitting here, did all of that. And the most remarkable thing for me is how quietly and expertly they did it. So I believe children are better off, and adults are better off, and vulnerable people are better off because of everybody here's work. It's been a wonderful partnership, and I am grateful for that partnership. I appreciate having had and hopefully continuing to have colleagueship from my fellow deputy mayors who are the best around. I have had the best Health and Opportunity Chief of Staff, who you're going to hear more from. I'm not going to say any more because I promised her I wouldn't do anything else because she has to maintain her cool too. And the other commissioners with whom I work. Commissioner Ambrose, I won't say any more. Arthur Evans and Annette Mintz, the staff in Health and Opportunity, and the staff from the 4 departments involved in Health and Opportunity have been amazing partners and have stepped up and have done what government should do. My comment at the end of talking about Health and Opportunity is, I've learned how important public service is. And my wish is for my colleagues from before working here and for my colleagues outside government to come on into government. This city, this state, and this nation are only going to be better if we have everybody serving the public. My health department deputies are here: Nan Filer, Kevin Vaughn, Tara Moore, Girther Malia. And I cannot, in this forum, say enough about what they do on a daily basis and have done to improve the health of Philadelphians. They are an extraordinary team. My division directors in public health, I think, are the best in the country. And the staff in the Department of Public Health, when I started, I was congratulated because of the professionalism of the people in the Department of Public Health. Boy, is it true. It is a fabulous department of people. My incoming colleague, Jim Bueller, makes me really happy. He will hit the ground running. He will excel beyond anything I've been able to do. He is just stupendous. I am not going to say how stupendous Susan Kretzky is going to be because she made me promise I wouldn't. But when I've told people, and I've told a few today, because I wasn't allowed to before today, that I am stepping down, and I've told them who's going to be the new deputy mayor for Health and Opportunity, everybody gets more excited than they ever got with me. Just saying. In terms of Health and Opportunity, I'm going to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. I am going to work on a new focus that the foundation has, promoting health through getting people catalyzed around the country to demand health and to demand healthy policies and demand a healthy public. The key input, I believe, to a healthy public is healthy public schools. The one person I have not thanked until this minute, and I hope he's remarked on that, is the mayor. I have worked for the mayor, who's not only the best in the country, I say that to everyone, but because of his focus, both on public health and particularly on public education, he is the best mayor in the country in terms of promoting the health of all Americans. We have to have kids who get an adequate education if we're going to have a healthy Philadelphia. Thank you.
Don, thank you. Thank you for your comments, and more importantly, thank you for your service to the city. Susan Kresge has worked closely with our health and social service departments, managing programs, legislative, budgetary, and analytical projects. She's worked very closely with a multitude of city departments on a plan to increase the city's permanent supportive housing inventory. She helped implement a research-based home visiting program focused on improving the educational outcomes of children and supervised a large-scale social service data warehouse for case management activities. Susan has nearly 40 years of great service to our city government, from the fire department to the managing director's office. In 2006, she managed the launch of the city's professional services contracting website, eContract Philly. She brings that management, leadership, institutional knowledge, and departmental know-how to her new role as the Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity. One comment about Susan, the project that I mentioned in 2006 came as a result of some of the work that I was engaged in when I was a member of City Council, a fairly complicated series of changes to how the city contracts for goods and services. And so it's one thing, and I see Councilman Mark Squilla in the back, and I appreciate you being here, Councilman Squilla. It's one thing to come up with what you think is a great idea. It's another thing to try to implement. I think the bill, the final bill, may have been about 24, 25 pages out of City Council, and having no idea who was actually going to implement all of that. I came to then know of Susan Kresge, who apparently, as a true public servant and complete glutton for punishment, actually volunteered for that assignment to implement the new legislation at that time. That pretty much told me everything I needed to know about her. You know, subsequently I left city government in June of 2006, and so it was with a big smile and just a wonderful opportunity to see her and get to know her when I came back into city government in January of 2008. She will in fact do a tremendous job and utilize those nearly 40 years of great service. Ladies and gentlemen, the soon-to-be new Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity, Susan Kresge.
I want to open by saying to the mayor, yes, you are right about the length of the legislation. And there were many, many times when I wondered what I had been thinking when I volunteered for that assignment. I want to thank the mayor very much for the opportunity to serve as the Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity. I've been fortunate enough to have worked in this cluster for the last 6.5 years. And I know so clearly the challenges that all the staff in these departments face every day, but I also know the incredible work that can be done in the face of great need and limited resources. And I am very excited to be able to move forward with that. I welcome Dr. James Bueller to the position of Health Commissioner. He has a long and distinguished career in public health, and he approaches this job with an abundance of enthusiasm. Anne-Marie Ambrose leaves behind a legacy of passion and courage in the reshaping of the Department of Human Services so that our children are safer and families are supported. She'll be succeeded by her deputy, Vanessa Garrett Harley, who matches Anne-Marie in commitment and passion to the children of our city. I am fortunate, or depending on your perspective, unfortunate to be following Dr. Schwarz in the role of Deputy Mayor. He has a published record of achievement that speaks to what he's done, but that published record is really only a fraction of the changes and improvements that he has brought really to the lives of everyone that we serve. And we are all the better for having had him here for these 6 years. I once heard a staff person in our department describing to somebody what it was like to work with him, and she said, He challenges everybody at every level of the organization to think about what we do and how we do it. He makes you think about the people we serve and what we need, and then to think about, are we doing what we need to do in the most efficient way possible? And he never lets up and he never stops. And that really is his legacy for health and social services, one that I really hope I can live up to. And I want to thank the mayor for the opportunity. Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm very excited to announce that Dr. James Biemiller, currently teaching at Drexel University's School of Public Health, will become the new health commissioner. Dr. Biemiller has more than 30 years of public health experience, spent more than 2 decades as the medical epidemiologist in the Commission Corps of the U.S. Public Health Service at the CDC. He's also served as a senior scientist at the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, and a public health professor at Emory University's Rollins School of Public Health. Dr. Biemiller is bringing ingenuity and commitment to his new position as Health Commissioner for the City of Philadelphia. I certainly do look forward to working with him. Ladies and gentlemen, the soon-to-be new Health Commissioner for the City of Philadelphia, Dr. James Biemiller.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Mayor Nutter for the tremendous opportunity that he's offered to me to serve the people of this city as its next health commissioner. I am deeply honored by this appointment. Unlike many of you in the room today, I'm a newcomer to Philadelphia. I've lived here for just over a year, but in that short time, I've come to love this city. In coming to Philadelphia, I very quickly learned that this city has one of the best health departments in the country, an outstanding Department of Public Health. Under the leadership of Mayor Nutter and Dr. Schwarz, the department has demonstrated its ability to be innovative, its willingness and eagerness to tackle the most difficult problems that confront the health of our people, and being willing to address full-on the problem of health disparities in this city. This is a result not only of the mayor's support and of Dr. Schwartz's skill, but as Dr. Schwarz mentioned, the talent and dedication of the health department's leaders and staff. And just as important, the partnerships that the health department has built within the other branches of government, with community groups and organizations across Philadelphia, with businesses, and with our colleagues in healthcare. I look forward to continuing and building on the outstanding work that's been done in Philadelphia, and to working with Susan Kretzky in her new capacity as Deputy Mayor for Health and Opportunity. Going forward, I promise that each and every day when I come to work, my goal will be, what can I do to promote and protect the health of every person in this city? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Biemiller, thank you very much. And the second announcement, Philadelphia Department of Human Services Commissioner Ambrose will be leaving the city administration to join Casey Family Programs as the Senior Director for Leadership Development and System Engagement. As was mentioned, replacing her will be Vanessa Garrett-Harley, who you'll hear from shortly. Commissioner Ambrose, Anne-Marie, has spent her entire career as a tireless advocate for children and families. Some of her accomplishments are the following. She spearheaded a comprehensive overhaul of the city's child welfare system, developed and implemented improving outcomes for children, a new single case management system, model of service direct delivery for DHS that is community-based. For improving outcomes for children, the Department of Human Services was recognized by the United Nations when it was presented with the 2013 United Nations Public Service Award, second place for improving the delivery of service. Since that time, in my recollection, Anne-Marie has subsequently received at least 2 national awards from other organizations for her work at DHS. She launched the Division of Performance Management and Accountability to measure the success and overall accountability of DHS in 2009. PMA is the first time that accountability standards were actually established for the Department of Human Services. As a result of the case reviews completed under PMA, DHS has significantly reduced out-of-state placements and congregate care placements as well. She started the Education Support Center, a joint effort with the School District of Philadelphia to address the social and educational needs of children in the child welfare system. She opened the Philadelphia Safety Collaborative, a decade-long effort to co-locate DHS staff, members of the Philadelphia Police Department's Special Victims Unit, the Children's Alliance, and members of the District Attorney's Office, something that's been talked about in Philadelphia for at least 20 years. And she opened the brand new Juvenile Justice Service Center out in West Philadelphia. I acknowledge the councilman, and with this work, I know I saw earlier Judge Kevin Doherty. I want to thank him for his commitment and dedication and service to the city as well. I know Anne-Marie will say it, but certainly, Judge Doherty, your support in the court system has significantly enhanced the work that Anne-Marie and her team have been able to do at the Department of Human Services. So please, one more time, for Family Court Judge Doherty. My remarks tell me that, of course, and I would anyway, that I'm going to talk about Anne-Marie. I will try my best to get through this part. Again, going back 7 years, we had a number of high-level positions that I already knew needed to be filled. Health Commissioner, I told you, was one. Police Commissioner was another. And a new commissioner for the Department of Human Services. My thought at the time was that finding a police commissioner would probably be the toughest job, and it is pretty tough. And we were unfortunately experiencing very significant levels of violence in Philadelphia. Homicide rate was still pretty much going up. Most other major cities were going down. And we did search and search, and you of course know that we subsequently were able to announce that Police Commissioner Ramsey was coming to Philadelphia. And I've said this also on a few previous occasions, the fact of the matter is that I subsequently learned that it was harder and much more difficult to find the right DHS commissioner than even the great police commissioner that we have in Commissioner Ramsey. We interviewed probably over 20 people, local, regional, and national folks, and started the administration without a permanent DHS commissioner. The last person that we had an opportunity to interview was someone that literally was, as they say, really kind of right under our nose. She had worked at DHS, she'd been a public defender, was up in Harrisburg, and I think it's my recollection that it was Don who remembered Anne-Marie. I participated in at least 8 or 9, possibly 10 of those interviews personally. And there were some really great people who came through, and they were very nice and many quite knowledgeable, but not exactly what I thought was the right fit. 5 minutes into the interview, it was so clear, crystal clear, that Anne-Marie Ambrose was the right person. And so we went through the rest of the interview process, and when she left, there was an eerie silence in the room. And we all just kind of looked at each other and then said, can we just run down the hall and offer her the job? But of course, you know, you gotta wait and you gotta talk and, you know, all of that. And, because, you know, we didn't want her to think we were so desperate, which we were. How right the committee was. And so Anne-Marie came on, and she'll correct me when she gets up to the microphone, but we made the announcement whenever we made the announcement, and I think her start was maybe in June or so. It was a Thursday morning, I believe. I got a call from the then district attorney. Anne-Marie had been on the job for a month. And that morning it was announced that the grand jury report was coming back on the Danielle Kelly tragedy. Anne-Marie obviously was not the commissioner of the Department of Human Services at that time. I was not the mayor at that time. But the report was, of course, coming out on our watch. And we all unfortunately know the tragedy of Danielle Kelly. And I called Anne-Marie and I told her, this report is coming. It'll be public in about a half hour. So get ready. Not a blink, not a hesitation, not a pause in her voice. She said, we'll be ready. And it just said so much about her as a person. And she took on that great challenge. And we have talked about that moment, we've talked about that case, and unfortunately other cases that have come. And unfortunately, supposed adults do really bad things to children. But we made a pact that we would do everything that we possibly could to make sure that nothing like that ever happened again, that we would make the changes that were necessary, that she knew, and I reaffirmed that she would always have my fullest support, that we would drive change in this system. And you know Philadelphia, you know we love change here in this city. We embrace it, and then we try to strangle it. Anne-Marie has never backed down from a challenge. She was always looking forward, always trying to find the best talent, the best people, to make the right changes that were necessary. Her passion and commitment for children, I have learned so much from her. But opportunity does knock at the door. And it's why I said what I said earlier. It's with great pride and deep sadness, but certainly tremendous confidence. Because Anne-Marie is a planner, she's a visionary, she looks forward. She's built up a team that will ensure not only a smooth transition, but that the principles of guiding this department and making sure that it is in fact one of the best child welfare, family protection services and agencies in the United States of America is backed up by many outside people. Anne-Marie Ambrose has in fact changed the Department of Human Services by skill, by talent, and by sheer will. Please welcome Commissioner Anne-Marie Ambrose.
This is going to be hard. As you can see, I've been crying the entire time because a couple of things. I'm so honored and grateful, and I look out in this room, and I've come to say that child welfare is a community responsibility, and all of you have contributed to helping make children in the city safer, and I am eternally grateful for that. I could not have left this job unless I knew everything was going to be okay. And so, first and foremost, I have to thank the amazing and remarkable Vanessa Garrett Hartley. So, no one is sad that I'm leaving because Vanessa is coming, and that is a great way to actually leave city government and know that a department that cares for the most vulnerable citizens in this city is in good hands. Vanessa has been by my side for almost 4 years, and she is an unbelievable champion for children. She is passionate, her commitment is unwavering, and I feel really good about her leading this agency into the next era of doing good things on behalf of kids. And I'm grateful to her family, Frank and Blake, and Troy, of course, Troy. I know how important her family is, and I know how she puts herself into this work, and the fact that you guys are continuing to support her in this transition is really important, and I'm grateful to you as well. My leadership team, and the mayor's going to get mad at me because I always thank everybody, but he's going to let me, he's going to indulge me. You know, none of this work is done by one person. It is done by pulling the right team together, and that team is represented in this room in huge, huge ways. Many of you have been by my side for 6 years and have worked tirelessly to make this a better, stronger, more transparent and accountable agency, and I am eternally grateful to all of you. I know the sacrifices that you have made, I know the commitment that you have to children and families, and I know how hard we have worked to transform this agency. So I thank you all so much. I'm not going to call y'all out because it wouldn't be good, but you know who you are, and you know how much I love all of you. The system partners that are in this room, so Sam Galino, standing in the back, who leads our Act 33 team around fatalities and near fatalities, Ed McCann, who holds us accountable by sitting on that team and actually wrote the grand jury report in the Danielle Kelly death. Your participation in making us a better agency is critical and essential. And I thank you for the time that you've put into asking the right questions and supporting us when you need to. I will say that, you know, the partnership that we have with law enforcement is stronger than it's ever been. Commissioner Ramsey and his team, Deputies Ross and Bethel, are on the phone with us constantly, helping us out on cases and working through policy issues and doing good things for children and families. Seth's team, Ed and George Mosey and John Delaney, I mean, just incredible partnerships. The provider community, many of you who are here today in this room, you're all essential to getting this work done. You're at the front lines of delivering on behalf of children and families every single day. And I know that we've made a lot of changes, and you've been right there sort of guiding it every step of the way. And I know that you will continue to do great work on behalf of the children and families that we serve. Frank Cervone, the child advocates, Kathy Gomez, people who participated in building improving outcomes for children. And remember, we planned this for about 3 years, and there were 150 different stakeholders, many of you who are in the room, helping guide us and inform what we needed to do to make this a stronger and better system. And because of your involvement and your participation, it is, and we need to stay on that road and focus on improving outcomes for children and making sure that we're delivering services at the community level in a way that's accessible to the children and families that we serve. I also want to thank the Community Oversight Board. I see a couple of the members here. They were appointed by Mayor Street and came up with 37 different recommendations for what we needed to do as an agency. Mayor Nutter reappointed the Community Oversight Board. We added some additional members and strengthened the board, but they have been consistent in making sure that we are held accountable for doing the right thing for kids and families, and they've been incredibly important in our progress. Judge Doherty, I can't look at. He has been my steadfast partner. He and I grew up together. He was a DA. I was on the good side with the public defenders, Charlie. So we've known each other for over 25 years. And he has always been amazing, but in the last 6 years, he has been unwavering in his support for what we needed to do together to improve the lives of children in the city. And sometimes he doesn't get enough credit for all of the amazing stuff that he does. And so I hope that you will acknowledge him one more time, because we could not have made the progress that we have made without his leadership and his support and his unbelievable commitment. And he likes Vanessa better than me, so I can only imagine what's going to happen in the future. We always fight over saying who's the judge's boyfriend today. Sorry, Frank. But he's an unbelievable leader. I may have not acknowledged some people in the room, and I apologize if I didn't. 2 more people. Don Schwarz, who is just brilliant and caring, and I don't even have the words, but he has patiently guided and supported me and educated me. And Susan and I have teased him a little bit in the process, and he's just an amazing leader and an amazing public servant. And I'm just so thankful that he has helped me be a better person and hopefully a better commissioner. And then finally, Mayor Nutter, who I agree with Don is just the best mayor on the planet. But for me personally, he is not a politician. He is a public servant through and through. He has been unwavering in his support and commitment. All he's ever said to me is, do the right thing for kids, and I got your back. And he has had my back for 6 years. And I think that's why Vanessa can feel so comfortable coming into this role, because many of you have heard me say my job is a misery, and it is a misery at times, but it's all worth it if you're able to deliver on behalf of kids and families. And the reason that we've all in this room been able to deliver consistently over the last 6 years on behalf of kids and families is because we've had a mayor who had the political will to change an agency that wasn't doing what it needed to do. And I am forever grateful for his leadership and his confidence in me and giving me the opportunity to serve. So, thank you.
And so I'm proud to now formally announce that Vanessa Garrett Harley, currently the Deputy Commissioner of Children and Youth Division at DHS, will become the new Commissioner of the Department of Human Services shortly. Ms. Garrett Harley has worked for the City of Philadelphia for more than a decade. She has worked with the Child Welfare Unit of the Philadelphia Law Department since 2002 and was promoted to its chair in 2007. As the chair of the Social Services Law Group in the city's Law Department, Ms. Garrett Harley provided legal advice to the city's social service agencies. In her current role, Ms. Garrett Harley is responsible for the child welfare services provided to children and families in the hotline, intake, ongoing services, and adoption divisions. The DHS Commissioner is vitally important to the city's efforts to improve the well-being and safety of Philadelphia's children and families. Through previous conversation with Anne Marie as a part of her education to me, it is a fact that the Department of Human Services is actually a public safety agency. With Ms. Garrett Hartley's deep understanding of the child welfare system and the experience with community partners that work with DHS, Ms. Vanessa Garrett Harley is an excellent choice for this appointment. Please recognize and welcome to the podium Vanessa Garrett Harley.
So I'm humbled and honored to be standing here before you today. I prayed a lot on this decision and accepted the position. First and foremost, I want to thank God for his blessings, including this opportunity. I also need to thank my parents, Mamie and Edgar Garrett, for all of the love and support that they gave me over the years. But in particular, instilling in me that you can be anything that you think you can be, and teaching me the importance of caring about and loving other people. I have to thank my husband, Frank Harley, for his understanding and patience, for all the tireless hours and all the nights that I get a phone call at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning, and all the holidays that I've worked and other things. I'd like to thank my sons, Troy and Blake, for allowing me to take time away from them and to take care of other kids who sometimes needed it more. Definitely want to thank Mayor Nutter for his confidence in me and offering me an opportunity like this, but most importantly for always standing behind the Department of Human Services and the children of this city, even in some of our darkest days. I have to thank, I'm in the unique position of having had 2 bosses. I am technically still a member of the law department for the city of Philadelphia and have been on loan. I originally came to DHS, I was supposed to be on loan for 1 year, it's going on 4. And so I've had 2 bosses. So Shelley Smith, the city solicitor, is awesome. She's a wonderful attorney, a wonderful leader, and most of all, she's been a wonderful friend to me. So thank you, Shelley. And Deputy Mayor Schwarz, of course, is one of the most smartest people I've ever met. He is so brilliant. But Don is always very helpful, but always very calm, very laid back, even in the midst of all the storms and when everybody else is psychotic. He is the calmest person in the room. So thank you for teaching me some of that tranquility and also for your faith in me. And of course, above and beyond, I need to thank the DHS staff. The DHS staff works so hard every day, and what they do often goes unnoticed or is criticized, but they are wonderful people. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity to continue to work with the DHS staff. Commissioner Ambrose has been a leader, a manager, a mentor, but most of all, a very, very good friend to me. And I've learned so much under her leadership, and it's going to be very difficult doing this without her, but we're going to make it happen. So I've worked hand in hand with Annie for now about 4 years and been very instrumental in the development of the Improving Outcomes for Children initiative. And I just want to be able to say that I am fully committed to that going forward. We and our leadership team will continue to make sure that the Improving Outcomes for Children happens, because we know that it is what is best for the children and families in this city to have a community-based approach to child welfare services. It'll be a seamless transition because I've worked so closely with her and the DHS staff and the providers over the years, and I look forward to continuing to build on all the partnerships that Annie built with all of the stakeholder groups, the police department, the school district, DBH, the Department of Public Welfare, CBH, the DA's office, Community Oversight Board. There's so many stakeholders that we have to do as partners. And of course, my beloved Judge Dockery, that I had to leave and set aside. And my husband is smiling because he hears me talk about Judge Dockery all the time. But Judge Dockery and I have worked together very closely in the courts, both when I was an attorney and also when I began to run law department. But certainly in my position as a deputy commissioner, I couldn't have done many of the things that I've been able to do, and Annie couldn't have done many of the things that we've been able to do together without him. So thank you, Judge, very much. And certainly, lastly, I just want to say that I'm going to continue, of course, to work closely with our community umbrella agencies. I see many of the leaders here from them, and we are definitely going to get this thing done. So have no fear. I've worked a large part of my professional career fighting for and trying to protect children, and that fight is going to continue, just at an even higher level and at an even faster pace. And I always told my staff would always ask me, how long are you staying? Because I think they thought in the beginning, as I was making changes that some people didn't like, maybe I would just go away. And I always told them I would be staying until I heard him being the Lord, say, well done, I got your next assignment. So thank you, Mayor Nutter, for helping me to come to my next assignment. And hopefully he's saying, well done.
Let's not have any confusion about who she was waiting on waiting on the word from. It was not me. Vanessa, thank you very, very much. And you can hear and feel the confidence with which she comes to the position. And it was most exciting to have that conversation with her and be able to make the offer. And more importantly, she said yes. One last announcement, equal certainly to the others. I talked earlier about family, and we really actually do try to run the government. It's a big family. It's a rather large one, about 22,000 or so people, so it's kind of big. Thanksgiving reunions are really tough. But the folks here on the second floor and in the mayor's office and the chief of staff's office and press office, legislative affairs, we spend a lot of time together, and we've all been through a lot. The great recession, the ups and downs that take place on a daily basis, the things you read about and the things that are never really heard about, but discussed behind the scenes. Suzanne Biemiller has served our city selflessly over the years inside the government, administration, and in other capacities. She'll be taking on a new challenge, to be the first Chief of Staff for the American Board of Internal Medicine here in Philadelphia. Many of you have gotten to know Suzanne over the years, and she has certainly been a true go-to person in the administration. From her work developing the Office of Sustainability and the original GreenWorks Philadelphia Plan, the city's first ever sustainability strategy, to serving as my interim Chief of Staff through the transition from our first chief, Clay Armbruster, to now Everett Gillison. There's never been a task that she wasn't up to. There's nothing that we needed her to do that she didn't take on. And just a few of the things that Suzanne worked on. With the Finance Department, she, of course, has been leading the city's efforts with regard to the Philadelphia Gas Works transaction. She managed the overhaul of the city's Office of Community Services and led its transformation into the Mayor's Office of Community Empowerment and Opportunity, our anti-poverty organization. She worked on the food bank, the Outdoor Food Service Task Force, and the creation of a new governance structure at the Philadelphia Housing Authority. She's been a driving force to seek new revenues for the School District of Philadelphia, managed the city's federal affairs work, oversaw the Office of Policy and the Grants Office, and currently serves as the Vice Chair of the Community College of Philadelphia's board. As the interim Chief of Staff in that transition, while we were transitioning, there was also great leadership transition at the School District of Philadelphia, and Suzanne oversaw our engagement there. As the Director of Policy and Planning, started the policy office within the Mayor's office, created the formal program to nominate exemplary city employees and our various programs for awards. She developed the policy and implementation strategy for the city's 2010 census outreach. You, of course, know that the 2010 census showed population growth for the first time in 60 years in Philadelphia, and revamped the Mayor's Commission on Literacy and the Mayor's Commission on Aging. And there is certainly more. And for some, you may just read about the end result of these things. But I've said on so many, many occasions, and while I get to be at this podium so many, many times and announce this program or that program or this award or that award or so many other things that go on in city government, you know for a fact that I don't do these things by myself. They don't just happen. They don't just magically appear. It's all the work, it's all the effort, it's all the time that goes into making those things happen. That may take months, it may take a couple years. And Suzanne Biemiller never stops working. She never lets up on her focus, never ends the project until it is, in fact, truly done. We've been friends for a long time. We've worked together in a variety of capacities. She is an exemplary public servant, but more importantly for me, she's just a great friend. Always been there each and every step along the way. And Suzanne, for that and so many, many other things, for the up days and the dark moments. Thank you so much for your service. Please welcome to the podium Suzanne Biemiller.
So while I promised myself I wouldn't cry, obviously, breaking that already. So the hour's long, and I'm going to try to get through this quickly, but there are many people I need to sort of thank and things I need to say. First, Mayor, sort of in the wrong position for this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you and with your incredible administration, so many of whom are here today. This has been the job of a lifetime, and I have spent 6 years really pinching myself that I could be so blessed to work alongside you and so many other people to accomplish big things for this city. As you just mentioned, and as you obviously know and others in the room know, I'm a competitive person who does not like to lose. I don't quit, and I do not like leaving when things are unfinished. But I know that we have a great group of people working on certainly important issues, and one in particular, and that the facts are on our side. So I have every confidence that eventually the right decision will be made, and that Philadelphia will be moving that much closer to becoming the internationally known city we so want and need it to be. Mayor, I pledge to you, and I know others on the team pledge as well, that you will get that Saudi Arabian flag on the parkway.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you all think I was talking about? Sorry, I needed a little levity in this hard day. Obviously, I was also talking about the Philadelphia Gas Works and the sale of that asset. It will happen. It's important. To my colleagues in the mayor's office, many of whom are here today, and my colleagues across the administration, thank you, thank you, thank you for your kindness, your wisdom, and your support through thick and thin. You are the epitome of public servants, and I have learned a great deal from all of you. We have accomplished much, and we do get stuff done. To my husband, who's known around here as the other Rob, you have been an incredibly supportive partner, and I know it hasn't been easy on you. Thank you for everything you have done to make the past 6 years possible. To my daughters, who are standing here today too. When I first decided to accept the mayor's offer to join his administration, I spoke to you about what it would mean for you. You were 7 and 9 at the time, young girls really, and I'm going to embarrass you now to say, look at you now. You're teenagers, you've grown up so wonderfully, and I could not be prouder of both of you. But when we had that conversation, I said to you that taking this job would mean that I wouldn't have as much time to be your mom, but that I wanted to work for the mayor because I wanted to help make Philadelphia a better city, so that when the time came for you to settle down and have children of your own, you would want to live here, you would be able to find a job here, and you would be able to send your children to school here. I think everyone in this room feels the same way I do about why we do these jobs. I know the mayor feels that way. We don't do these jobs for the money. We don't do them for the family-friendly hours or even for the stress-free work environment. They don't exist. We do these jobs because we believe that Philadelphia is a great city and that its best days are ahead of it and not long gone. A number of people have commented in the past and currently, publicly and privately, that the mayor has a great team, and he does. It has been an honor to work with people who are committed to the ideal that government should work for everyone and not just the well-connected, and who strive every day to advance the public good and not the economic livelihood of a chosen few. For the record, however, I don't consider this team to be a team. To me, you are family. And like a family, We applaud each other's accomplishments. We mourn our individual and collective losses. We argue at times, and we enjoy our time together. And at the end of the day, we are united behind a common purpose, and we have each other's backs. We are a family. But now it is time to turn off my BlackBerry, clean out my office, organize my files, and return to my other family, my 2 beautiful daughters and my loving husband. It is time for me to spend more time with them than I've been able to over the past 6 years, and to be more present in their lives. I am excited by the enormous challenges that await me at ABIM and the chance to improve the quality of medical care in the United States. But I will miss my city family terribly. Thank you all.
So you all have been tremendously patient, and we're going to wrap up. But I do need to, and it's been mentioned a couple of times, and I have my own notes on this. Public service, and some of you have heard me say this too, public service is incredible. There's nothing like it. And the opportunity every day to improve someone else's life, there is a feeling that you get from that that at times maybe is a little hard to explain to other folks. At the same time, I know for myself, and I know for all of you, it does take a toll. It does have an impact on family. And as much as we're a family, we spend a lot of time together, and you as family members know that because we're not there. I want to thank some other family members. For Don Schwarz, Andrew Gelber. Andrew, thank you very, very much. For Susan, Charles Fagan. Charles, where are you? For Anne-Marie, Mark, her husband, and Alyssa, and Jack, and Emma, thank you all very, very much. I've gotten to know Anne-Marie's family very, very well, and they look after her, and I look after her, and try to look after them. Dr. Biemiller, and Suzanne, what a family, and I've gotten to know each and every one of them. And so to the other Rob, thank you very much. You are the source of many, many jokes within the administration. Caroline and Jane, you are 2 wonderful, smart, and beautiful young ladies, and thank you both for being so kind and always coming to visit me. At times I know when you actually didn't really want to, but your mom was here stuck in the office, and I would demand that you come over to my office and you would entertain my silly questions. And so to all of those family members, we say thank you very, very much. And to some new family members, some brand new and some in now new capacities. Vanessa, for Frank and Troy, and Blake, thank you for lending her to us again. Thank you very, very much. And for Dr. Biemiller, to Dr. Lydia Ogden, and Gus, who I know is here, and Branch, and Philip, and Lauren, our new family members to city government. We thank all of you. So let us thank our leaders here, but also their families for what they give to city government. So, in I think what is now a record for us for press conferences, I'll open to the news media any questions that you might have about today's series of announcements. Are there any questions from the press? We have worn them out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for attending. Thank you for caring about service in the city of Philadelphia. God bless you. Thank you.